Hi, I'm Mary Miles, and together with my colleague from the Hellenic Film Society, Eva Malice, we have the pleasure of speaking with Sofia Kokkali. Sofia is a preeminent Greek actress working steadily in film, television, and stage for over a decade. Her films include Little England, Moon 66 Questions, Molly, Thread, Winona Digger, and Polydroso. Her TV credits are many, but the outstanding performances, I would say, in my opinion, are Carte Postale and Milky Way. She's been nominated for 3 Hellenic Film Academy Awards, and she's won one for Nima. She's also a co-founder of the Krusk Theater Group. So, Sophia, this career, I think most actors would be envious of. You've charted an incredible career. Let's start at the beginning. What drew you to be an actor?
Hello. Um, I'm not sure that's something in specific that drew me. I think that I always had the need to disappear, I think, and to live many lives. So while being in cinema, I just got mesmerized by this world, and I wanted to be in the movies. I didn't know how to become an actress. I never had any relationship with the theater. So when the time came, I just asked, how will I be an actress? And I did all the steps needed. So I think it was something that I always wanted, but I was afraid to say it out loud.
Okay, that's
Love that.
amazing. So now you worked very closely with Alexandros Voulgaris. 3 films have been completed. You're in the process of completing the fourth. What is it about Alexandros that makes you say yes when he approaches you for a new project?
Every time, which is the reason I say yes. I don't know. I said the first yes at the beginning, and now it's always yes. I I mean, it was a big yes, and I don't know. I think that it's been 10 years since Thread, approximately, and from the beginning, I felt that I had this sense, I could feel open to him, like speaking to him without even not knowing very well. I didn't know him very well, and I could speak with him in ease about my personal things, and he would do the same. So when I entered his world, his cinematic world was really different from everything that I had ever seen or done. So I think that he took me by the hand and threw me in a really, really special world. But I think that the most important thing is that we have a really, really close relationship through the years. By being his actress and by being my director, but it's also a personal relationship. And I think that we evolve next to each other, that he really teaches me things and I do also. And I see it like I've done just 4 films with him, and I feel I've done 8 or 10, that all my life, all my acting life, I've been working with him. So it's a really a rich relationship.
So it sounds like you both have evolved. You as an actress and he as a director. So it sounds like there's been some growth on both sides. Um,
Yes.
Now we spoke with Alexandros recently, and he mentioned that he prefers to work on film versus high def. How does that change your approach to the takes when someone is creating on film versus high def? It's a very different approach, I would imagine.
Yes. The first time that we did it together was in Winona. It's the second movie we
Right.
did. But it was a really specific thing that he chose to do it in a specific place, on a beach,
Mhm.
8 days with 4 actresses. So he managed to organize everything so that we have free space and that we feel secure. So this was the test, and it went really well because we when we work with somebody that really knows how to secure you, how to make the perfect environment to set you free, then it's not scary if you have just 1 or 2 takes. Anyway, I believe that the first take is always the most rich one.
Hmm.
Because it's the
It's
most authentic, most spontaneous.
Yes, it doesn't mean that there are many cases that it wouldn't work and it would work later, but I've seen it happen many times. So I think that it's the how do you say the insecurity of the actors or the actor that wants more and more and more. If you have the right things in front of you, then you're ready to set you free, then you have it, I think. But in Alexander's case, it works very well. So it's not scary. Now that we did the third one and the fourth one, I didn't even care. And it's a myth that you don't have many shoots. I mean, the shots you have. You have one, you have two, you have three. Sometimes it's just that you're gonna lose one and you cannot just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. So you don't have many. For example, it was a problem in editing that he didn't have, for example, one shot and he couldn't use it. But for the actors, I think it's nice because it makes you get focused, really, it's really urgent. You don't say, okay, if I don't do it now, I'm gonna do it in the second.
20 more times, but
So
And do you
the
think your
tension-
theater training helped with that?
Yes,
okay.
yes. I think yes, but I don't know how it would be if I didn't have the theater training. I think that it has to do with the director. It has to do with the environment, with the set, having everything right.
So that you could express yourself freely.
Yes, and you can be focused. You know what to do.
So tell us about your role in Polydroso and working with Vicky Kaya. I found the character very complex. So I would like to hear your perspective on who the character is and how you felt you needed to portray it.
It's the first time that I'm not going to answer this question in the way that I usually do, because I could not just say some lines about my character. It's like there's no character. There is, of course, but I mean, it's more the focus and the center of my approach was the mother-daughter relationship. In the way that I feel it, I sense it, and through Alexander's eyes also. So what I had in mind was that it's a really lovable and effective relationship. So of course there are some characteristics that make my role specific, like what she feels, or how she thinks, but we didn't care about these things. We just discussed them and then we left them and forgot them, because there is a situation that's it's the I play the daughter and Vicky Kaya plays my mother. So she is ill and she has to do an operation. So it's situations that's a bit risky because the daughter afraid that she faces for the first time. It's not that it's such a dangerous operation, but she comes, she faces for the first time the agony and the anxiety that she may lose her mother. So that's so big deal that you don't need any personality. It's just a soul thing and a connection thing. So I couldn't speak about my character. And I think that also Vicky couldn't speak about her character. It's like what I like in this movie is like, let me tell you what an idea that I have is like you have a table, a really firm and stable table with legs, but in the movie you don't see the legs. You just see the table floating. So you don't need to know about them in specific. You just need to feel them. It doesn't mind what previous story they had. It's just the intensity of the now that's working.
So
Did
am
I-
I reading too much into the character? Because I thought I sensed that an old conflict, a little friction that was old, that somehow slightly surfaced but was just immediately dismissed because of the critical situation that you found yourselves in. Am I reading too much into this character?
No, you mean from the daughter that she has a friction?
Yes, with the mother.
Yeah, I think that the difference is that she has these eyes of questioning all the time. Like she misses something that her mother can only narrate to her. So
Mhm.
she asks something from her. That's the difference. And she doesn't. She's just there, lovable and kind and loving and all these things. But I think it's the yes, it has to do with the past. It has to do with all the questions that everybody has. That did you ask them? Should you ask them? Did you ask them so many times that you shouldn't? Will you be able to move forward without her or without the past story? That's all. Or maybe all our relationships and all families have traumas.
Mhm.
So the kid, the daughter, the son, whoever keeps asking in a way, but she does it in a silent way. Like, what am I dealing with? What did you put in me? What did you shape for me?
Mhm.
This is, I think, the only thing that appears. But anyway, I mean, it's nice that you project to hear whatever you want because that was the deal. I
Right,
mean, in a way, to be that open.
right, right. So
And
let
so
me,
what was special about this and your other roles? I mean, you really have an eye for roles and your talent exceeds whatever's on the paper for sure. But
Mhm.
how do you go about picking your roles? Like, is there do you say I'm going to focus on theater this year? I'm going to do more film, or do you gravitate? Is there a conscious decision on what's next or how I should play this, or is it really about the role and picking those?
I am not that lucky in luxury to choose. I mean, it's difficult. Um, in cinema, you're just happy if you have something to work on because the films they get so much time to get done. So I don't have how do you call it? Proposals every day. I mean, so I think in cinema I choose, excuse me, because of the director or because of the scenario that I read, a story that I haven't done or that I wanted to do it in another way. And of course, I like the well-written scenarios. But if I know the director, I don't care about the scenario or the role. I mean, in theater, I do have some specific people that I work with. I don't work with everyone because
Mhm.
I couldn't do it. Because in theater, you work like 3 months in rehearsals. You're like family. So you have to choose your family. You
Mhm.
cannot be part of any family. So I do have 3 or 4 or 5 people that I work with, and I really leave space for them.
Mhm.
But I don't schedule anything. I just struggle to balance the two things, cinema and theater, because you don't know when you're gonna have money speaking for a movie. You don't know when you're gonna have the time to do the rehearsal with the other people, the other actors. So it's just that it makes me whatever it wants,
Mhm.
the
Okay.
job. Yeah.
Wow. Let me ask you a question. Another question. You've worked with Pantelis Voulgaris, you worked with Alexandros Voulgaris. How does their approach differ?
How?
How does their approach to directing differ? How do father and son differ in their directorial approach, I guess is what I'm asking.
I've worked just once with Pandelis, and I've just worked 4 times with Alexander, so I've seen him in many different situations. But the main essence for me is that Pandelis, I don't know, he's a greater storyteller. Like he knows what he wants, and he narrates big, huge stories that has to do with characters that they're rich and they have everything in a way that I don't know. It's different to Alexander's because Alexander's, I think that he gets a main idea, a main feeling or a situation that's specific, and then he leaves the movie to explode by itself in a way, I think.
Hmm.
That's a difference that I can see now. I've never thought of it. It's the first time I think of it.
And does Alexandra encourage spontaneity? Do you like it when the director, any director for that matter, gives you freedom to improvise, or do you really want to get the job done and then maybe play a little bit if you've got the time and the takes to do that?
I think that Alexandros has the way and the ability to direct you through script. While reading the script, you already have the direction. It's something that I've never seen to any other script, because somebody, a director or someone that writes a script, he writes it and then it gives it to you. But when Alexandros give it to you, you already, I don't know, maybe it's personal. I already have the director's eye and the way that he proposed. So by learning this thing, yes, I do feel free, because it's like I have swallowed his thing. I have it really on sender, in sender. I don't know how it's the right word, on sender, in sender.
Inside, Mesa?
Yes. And then I'm free to do with it whatever I want. And that's what he wants also.
Mhm.
So there's not scenes that they are strict and scenes with improvisation. It's always strict and improvisation in a way.
And when you think about the relationships, cultivating each new relationship, do you try to build something bigger with your fellow actors, a more strong connection for the scenes, or with your director in following their direction?
Sorry, could you repeat? I didn't get the question.
Of course, when you're creating relationships on set.
You mean with everybody,
With everyone.
with directors and...
Yes. Is it
Yeah.
more important to have that trusting relationship with your fellow actors or with the director?
What a question. I think director. I think because it's important to have this strong connection with your fellow actor, of course, but you may not. Maybe you cannot manage it, but with the director, you have to do it. I mean, it's the whole thing.
So Greek cinema, I think, is evolving. It's going through a growth phase. What do you consider the greatest strength and challenge in working in Greek art today, whether it's cinema, film, or stage?
I think that there's still some space, spirit space, or not. I think that the things are not so conservative in a way, because it's like there's a hole, it's a lack, it's our black hole, the thing that really makes it difficult for us. And because of this hole, then they push, for example, a Greek director or a Greek creator pushes himself to an unknown thing. And that's a space of freedom and creativity that I can see and I can relate to. It's not happening all the time in other industries.
Mhm. Sophia, do you watch yourself on screen or on television? Do you like are you curious to see yourself, or do you just avoid it and just think that you can't look at it objectively, so you'd rather not see it at all?
No, I don't have that problem. I can deal with watching myself, and I always did it. There are some times that if I move forward, I am in another phase of my life, then I see something and say, oh, I was so young and I was so, no, okay. But I don't judge it, because I remember that I did whatever I could in that period. So no, it's okay. But I don't keep watching myself. For example, if I see Polydros 2 times, then the next time I will not be in the theater. I will be outside waiting.
I want to ask, do you personally have a different process in approaching your roles depending on the medium, whether it's film, TV, theater, the way you analyze the characters? Does one give you more rehearsal time where you can explore a bit? One is shorter.
About TV and cinema, I don't know yet, because I wanted to approach TV with cinematic in a cinematic way, but it cannot be. It cannot happen, and that's frustrating. So I don't know yet the way to be part of TV. I haven't figured it out. But in theater is a different situation. I mean, because I told you that you have 3 months of rehearsing, that means that you have 3 months of co-living with the role or with the situation or with the book or the play. So it's like you have this magnificent gift that something gets deepened, something deepens, gets more deep by itself. So you just repeat and repeat, and it gets, for example, if you do theater this year and then you repeat it next year, it's going to be an absolutely amazing, different explosion that's going to happen, because it's like you are more grown up with the thing, with it. So you don't have this chance in cinema, but you do have it in theater.
That's interesting because you had a play in the spring and then you brought it back in the fall. So
Yeah.
did you feel that growth in your character and maybe as the cast, as the whole cast?
Maybe as the cast.
Yeah, like as a group that you all grew into these roles, but also from your perspective.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Every repetition that we did in any theater play, it's every time it's magnificent. I really like it, and now I understand why. Back in the years ago, I heard that they did rehearsals for 8 months or 9 months, and I said,
Wow.
"What? That's awful. I mean, I want to leave." No,
You want to go on stage at some point and see an
So,
audience, yeah.
didn't they get bored? What do?
I'm sure
I
they did
mean,
good.
but now I do get it, because back then the time was different. It's not like now that you're gonna work it, show it, get the tickets, go to the next one. It's the velocity. How do you say? No,
Yeah, the velocity, the speed.
the speed is so, I don't know. It's so different now. Yes, it always happens, and it's nice, and it's even nicer when it comes with your collaborators that you know them by heart, because you work with them so many years, and it's like it doesn't has to do with you. It has to do with something bigger than you, and it's like a present for you.
I always find theater fascinating because you have people sitting there staring at you, coughing, sneezing, having side discussions.
Speaking.
Well, yeah, okay. Is that obviously it's something you expect now because you're a very seasoned stage performer, but is that part of the joy of the live performance, not knowing what's going to happen with the audience?
No, coughing, it's not nice. It's not part of the experience. I don't need it. But or the cell phones,
Oh,
for
the
example.
cell phones, yes, yes.
No. But yes, having people, I mean, this difference with the live experience is amazing. You cannot have it in any other, I don't know another example that could happen. Speaking to people, being there, feeling that there's so many people that did they come because they know what we do, or somebody told him, a friend told him, go out on Saturday night and just go and see that. So they don't know what to expect. And then you just have to do your job and grab their, whatever you can grab, the cells of their brains or the soul or the eyes. And there are so many different experiences that you never know, this audience is suitable, this is not, you never know. So every time it's a different every day, every night it's a different how do you play
Experience.
parastasi?
Oh, a performance.
Performance, yeah.
Yes. And it's exciting. It's really nice, but you don't know. Sometimes you hate the people that they are there and you wish that they weren't. And then you say, who will you play for? For yourself? Yes, for myself. I do it for me, not for you. But other times you just, you're so appreciative that you can share this thing and you can get a silent feedback from them. It's really nice.
And now I'm going to ask you the unfair question. If you could only do one, film, TV, or stage,
Cinema.
you just won't answer no.
Hmm?
It's unfair. Which one would you have to, if someone told you you could only do one, you could only do film,
Yes,
film.
yes, films, yes. I would feel my heart tearing apart without theater, but I could never live without films because theater is hard. It's really hard. I mean, just being in theater it gives you so many presents. You become richer and a better human being, I think. And I want it in my life. I don't want to lose it. But if you put the gun in my head, I have I would choose film because it suits with a life I want to live also, like traveling and meeting new people and having a more abroad way of seeing things. So it's a bit more playful than a freedom, but on the other hand, I don't know. It's not that deep. I don't know, but I would say film without being able to analyze it.
So what's
Well,
next?
I wouldn't undersell the television because in the Carte Postale episode that you were in, for me, that episode was the best of the whole series.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I don't love television. I don't like it now.
It's a different process.
Yes, and it's a different process, yes. If you know how to deal with it, it may be really enjoyable, but I don't know how to deal it yet. Maybe if we do an interview in 10 years, you will hear me change my mind. But now, no, because there's one reason I don't like it, because they don't have the time and they don't have the ability to focus. So they split they split things. They split the way you look, the way you speak, the way he answers, the way everything is just piece and piece and piece and piece. So I cannot deal with this way of working because it makes me something that's really brutal to me. Like I don't have the way of just say go and just be there. I just have to be there and say the things that they tell me. So it's really difficult. There's rare situations that you could feel that you have something from the beginning to an end, that something magical happens. But if you know how to deal with it, and you can find because I think that there are many actors that know how to deal with it, and but what's also important is that in Greece we don't have that much experience of working in good television. I mean, it has to take some years to evolve and get better and get in a way to look like the TV series that we watch abroad. They look more like cinema than TV. So you like it and you want to be part of it, but we're not there yet.
Interesting.
Well, I think Milky Way took a big step forward in that
Yes,
direction.
I think too. Yes.
So you're completing a series now, a television series.
Mhm.
What's next? What do you have what are you focusing your eyes on, or hopefully will be a new project? What's on your wish list right now?
Listen, uh, I did work a lot these 2 years. And now I have this, I don't know, I don't have any plans. And that's a bit scary, but it's a thing I need. Because I did work 2 years in many, many projects. And I feel that sometimes you have to deal with the free space and with free time to just be a human being without putting yourself into a different thing, a different thing, and a different thing. Because I got afraid that I may not have enough strength in the future. It's not something that's going to happen because I love my job, but I am in this age that I do feel sometimes, especially with actors, it happens because Alexandros is writing a film for 1 year and a half, and then it takes 1 year to do it. So he's focused on something. With actors and actresses, you just go Even it's not like being in Hollywood that they pay you and for being for working a movie so that you spend 7 months with it. You just do little things, and everything's quick. So for the next 5 months, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna use this time to travel and to just stay calm and to see the world and to fresh my eyes and my mind and my soul. Then I have, of course, some proposals for cinema. 2 films that they are coming, but I don't know when they're going to happen to take place. And I do have a theater play. It's that's with our group, the Kursk Theater Group. That's going to happen in next March. I
Well,
don't
we're going
know.
into the summer, so this is a nice time to sit back, relax, enjoy, enjoy the beautiful areas of Greece. And as you said, you want to travel. So, I mean, the timing sounds good. The timing sounds perfect, actually. So,
Okay.
and then you'll start getting bored probably, and then it'll be fall.
I think that's going to happen in 1 month and a half or something.
Right. Well, that's okay.
But
It's a high class problem. I call these high class problems.
True.
okay.
So here's our last question. If you could describe yourself with one word, what would that word be?
Loving.
That's very nice.
Mhm.
I said it out loud. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think that's wonderful.
Mm.
Well, Sofia, we can't thank you enough. You're extraordinary in everything you do. So, of course, you need a little break to restore your energy and go back. You are a chameleon. You're still extraordinarily young if you think what you've done in your career, very short career, really. And we wish you all the best. And I'm sure we'll see you again in 10 years when we do that interview and you tell us how much you've grown from this one.
Nice. It would be so nice. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.